welcome back. On this channel, we talk about all things lifestyle, health, and wellness. If you have not already, be sure to hit that subscribe button below so that you know when I post new content. And be sure to like, comment, and share this video if you find it helpful. Let's jump right on in. As a lot of you know, if you followed my channel, you know last year I was diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disorder called Dermatomyositis. I started exhibiting symptoms of the disease in August of 2022, and it's August 2023 now, so I just wanted to do a 1-year health update in hopes that it would encourage somebody and help somebody who may be struggling from the same. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about like the dietary changes and the herbs, the healing herbs that I take that kind of got me here 1 year later. So stay tuned because you definitely want to see this because you'll learn something. So let's jump right on in. Dermatomyositis is an inflammatory disease that's marked by muscle weakness and skin rashes. That's the gist of what it is. It typically impacts women ages 40s to 60s. However, I was diagnosed at age 31. And then there is a juvenile version of the disease that impacts children from ages 5 to 15, which is kind of heartbreaking because I can't even imagine a child at 5 or 6 dealing with something like this. So that's essentially what it is. I won't go into detail about what my symptoms were because I have a video about that, but overall the cause is unknown. So, you know, if you end up with dermatomyositis, won't know why. You just got it. And so research shows that the cause is unknown. You just get it, I guess. So 1 year since my diagnosis, I was actually diagnosed in September, but like I said, started exhibiting symptoms in August. I'm doing a lot better. So since being diagnosed, starting to exhibit symptoms a year ago, I have now regained strength in all of my muscles. So I'm able to walk and talk again. At one point it was, you know, I was shuffling around here like I needed a cane. It was just a mess. I wasn't able to sing at church because it had impacted the muscles, you know, like my vocal muscles and everything. But I'm back able to sing at church. Rising Star Baptist Church, 10 o'clock on Sundays, if you went for work. But I also, all my hair grew back because one of my first symptoms, in addition to the rash, was just like a really big bald spot in the dead center of my head, and then it just spread all over my scalp. But my hair is growing back. It's not as long as it was. I had a big fro, but we getting there. And then the rashes cleared up. I did have a butterfly rash across my forehead. It was very dark. It almost looked like a bruise. And so that has since cleared up. I do sometimes still have small flare-ups of the rash, but nothing like initially. And then joint pain and swelling gone. Every joint hurt. My hands were basically swollen shut. You know, all those things have subsided. And then I got diagnosed with the type of dermatomyositis that has the interstitial lung disease component. I don't claim interstitial lung disease. I don't even claim dermatomyositis. Let's just say that. But I never experienced any symptoms from it. But they say based on my lab that that's the type that I have. But I still have never had any real respiratory symptoms. So I haven't had like a cough or shortness of breath or no stamina type of thing. But, you know, I still don't have any of that. But anyway, that's where I am today, symptom-wise. How did I get here? I attribute it to my diet, my anti-inflammatory diet, but also the herbs that I take. I think the common misconception with some autoimmune disorders, or when trying to deal with an autoimmune disorder from a naturopathic standpoint, is people don't realize you can't just change your diet and that's it. You do have to take some herbs too. You know, otherwise you just changing your diet, and it may help a little bit, but if you're talking about total healing, like coming off medicine and stuff, you're gonna have to have a little bit of herbs, you know, as well, which I'm gonna jump into some of the ones I take. Now, with that being said, I am on steroids. I do take prednisone. I was on prednisone as high as 60 milligrams a day at one point, and now I'm down to 12.5 milligrams a day and just slowly weaning myself off. But that's the only pharmaceutical that I've taken. I did do 2 of the IVIG immunoglobulin infusions, which I found helpful, and I'll probably do a couple more of those as I continue to wean off of steroids. But that's it. My doctor did put me on azathioprine. My body rejected it, so I stopped taking it. tacrolimus. I had a horrible reaction to that, so I stopped taking it. And then she wanted to put me on Cellcept, but I just read the side effects and I ain't taking that. And so, I'm just on the prednisone, 12.5 milligrams weaning, and then the IVIG infusions. Like I said, I've only done 2. So I think, the biggest thing that has helped me is definitely eliminating inflammatory foods, and then, taking those herbs and just the dietary and lifestyle changes. So let's talk about inflammatory foods. So when it comes to autoimmune disorders, it's a mess dealing with it. But we don't realize that, a lot of it is based in inflammation. Our immune systems, for whatever reason, is attacking itself and then just igniting the inflammatory cascade. And what we eat can make that better or worse. And so me personally, what I had to eliminate was all things dairy. So no cheese, cow's milk, cream, all that. Any dairy, had to eliminate it. Red meat, had to eliminate. Everything that contains sugar. So juice, soda, cookies, cakes, everything I like. Anything, especially when I was really, really sick, no sugar at all. Definitely no artificial, like white sugar, cane sugar. No, none of that. Had to let it go. Caffeine, I already don't drink caffeine, but caffeine definitely is an inflammatory food. Citrus fruit, so things like oranges, limes, lemon, all those things. Like when I was really sick, I couldn't just drink a cup of orange juice. I don't know if it was the acid in it or what, but it would just make me feel so much worse. So citrus fruits. Paprika, that's one thing. You might look at that and be like, but I just use that for coloring. Whatever is in paprika, it's an inflammatory food. So I don't add paprika to anything. Salt, and it ain't even about the salt that we put on our own food at home. It's more the sodium content in the processed foods that people eat. And so if you somebody that, because of convenience or time or whatever, you eat a lot of like warm-up meals and just let me just throw a piece in the oven type thing. You look on the back, that sodium content it's a lot. And so you have to eliminate all salt, the salt you add to your food, as well as the sodium that's in processed foods. But even things people don't think about, like nightshade vegetables, which are tomatoes, peppers, white potatoes, so French fries and all of that. Those contain something called solanine, and I might be pronouncing it wrong, but it contributes to inflammation and pain. And so if you somebody that's like, oh, I love McDonald's French fries, maybe you want to stop all that if you're dealing with this, an inflammatory type of disease. Tobacco, no, can't smoke your hookah. Can't smoke no cigarettes, can't do none of that because tobacco inflames you, and then alcohol. So I love a good lemon drop. I love a good margarita. Baby, I can't do none of that. I have tried to still turn up. And my body is just like, no. Because every single time I have a little flare, every time I'm like, and it's probably me, because I'm like, if I had 1 lemon drop, I might as well have 2. I might as well have 3. And so that's why it's just best for me to just not have nothing. Because alcohol is like a poison in your body. I've said it before. It just ignites the inflammatory cascade, and then you're just not going to be doing good. So those are some of the inflammatory foods I personally had to eliminate, especially when I was really, really sick, just to get the inflammation down. That's just a way to get it down naturally. Now, what I wanted to mention before I talk about salt, it's protein. A lot of people may be watching this and you may be adopting like a vegan diet because of health issues or just overall wellness. But I just want to throw out there that no matter what you do, whether you're on an anti-inflammatory diet or vegan or whatever, you have to make sure you're getting your protein. Because like I said, no red meat is a part of that. You still need to be getting your protein from fatty fish sources like salmon or, like high quality fish sources, or even, chicken. But you can get grass-fed or whatever better versions of chicken. It don't have to be the packaged chicken, you can get things from the fresh meat market. My point is you have to get your protein, because that's what I feel like I did wrong. When I was really sick, I just eliminated all this stuff because I was like, it's inflaming me and I just need to feel better. I wouldn't eat no meat, and I wasn't even thinking about protein intake. And then I noticed that I started to have like what I believe was like muscle wasting. I don't know, I just started looking skinny and sick. And I was just like, where are my muscles? Now, some of it was due to the fact that I couldn't really move around much, so your muscles just get weaker over time. but it was also because I wasn't getting enough protein. So protein is the building block for our body, building block for our muscles. So whether you vegan or whatever you're doing, you need to make sure that you're getting protein sources from somewhere, whether that be from cleaner meat sources or from your veggies, whatever, or even just putting a scoop of protein in your shake, whatever. But you have to make sure you're intentional about your protein, because that could almost be more unhealthy than just eating the red meat. And so just be mindful of that as you adopt some of these lifestyle changes. Now, salt. I just wanted to mention this because, again, I've been on prednisone at this point for a whole year. And to be honest, I should be big as a bus. I should, because prednisone causes Cushing's. It increases blood pressure, increases blood sugar, and that's what Cushing's is, like a cascade of all of those things. People have weight gain, their faces blow up, and it's a mess. Prednisone, it really is a mess, like as a med. It's not like a good medication to be on long term. But when I was really sick, I used to be on YouTube all the time, like looking up videos of who got dermatomyositis, who been on prednisone for a year, just trying to look up testimonials to kind of alter how I was going to, go about my treatment. And I came across this random video of a girl who had nephritis, and she had been on prednisone for a long time. And she mentioned that her doctor said the reason why people get Cushing's is because of salt. Salt increases blood pressure increases. They end up with diabetes and then weight gain and all these things. And so when she said that, it just something triggered in me, like, okay, I'm already eliminating salt, but I need to eliminate salt from the processed foods. It's not about the little salt you sprinkle on. It's really, there's so much sodium in these little processed foods that we eat for convenience and time's sake. And so anyway, I really think eliminating that while being on prednisone for such a long time helped me. I never gained a pound. Blood pressure ain't been increased. I ain't had no blood sugar issues. I have not had no signs or symptoms of Cushing's. My face did not blow up, nothing. And so I'll just want to throw that out there. If you are somebody who has dermatomyositis or anything, and you want like steroids and you think it's gonna be 2-3 months worth of steroids to get the inflammation down or whatever it may be, make sure you are intentional about eliminating that salt, because that's what's gonna make you blow up. And so I know that's one thing that a lot of people be nervous about, and that definitely was one thing that I was like, I'm not taking prednisone. At first I was like that, because I was like, I ain't trying to gain no weight. I cannot. But I think not having the salt in my diet, and even to this day I'm still like that. I don't eat processed foods. I try not to do like little warm up this and that, because it's just the sodium. You can't control how much they're putting in their stuff. So one alternative is to create your own salt-free blend when you're cooking things. One thing I like is garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, cayenne, and then you can add thyme, basil, and parsley. So if you want to make your own little mix and a little thing, just do 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of cayenne, and then 1/4 of a teaspoon of the thyme, basil, and parsley, and then just mix it up, and that can be your own little salt-free blend. You can add other things, minced garlic, as you're cooking, minced garlic, turmeric, all those things too. But this is just a good salt-free blend that you can make at home to cook and season your foods with, so you don't feel like you're missing any flavor, but you don't have all that salt. And so anyway, this is what I have to do to this day. I still use this stuff, because I just don't. I'm still on steroids, and I don't have time. So, the more you know. Now let's jump into the herbs. I just wanted to say this really quick, that every medication that you take has some type of herb in it. That's where medications come from. God gave us all the herbs and everything we need to heal our bodies naturally in the earth. The thing is, we've perverted it so much with, pharmaceuticals. Every little thing is, any cough, cold you got, now you just run to the doctor for medicine, when there are so many natural remedies to everything that our bodies deal with. And so I just want to say that, because I think a lot of times people are like, well, I changed my diet and I don't feel no different. You have to take herbs too, because your body is attacking itself, especially with dermatomyositis. Your body's attacking itself. So just diet alone is not going to stop your body from doing that. And you have to get to the source. What I learned is, taking medicine, you just treating the symptom. I need to treat the source. Why am I inflamed? How do I stop the inflammatory cascade? How do I stop it from doing this? And so there are herbs that, help with that. But it's overwhelming, because you're like, what? Do I just Google herbs? Like, I had to do a lot of research and, oh my God, just so many YouTube videos and trial and error. It's been some herbs that I took that I thought was right that my body was like, this ain't, So it's trial and error, type of thing. But I'm just gonna mention a few of the herbs I've taken that maybe can help you. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you don't do what your doctor say, just do this. I'm not telling you. You have to do what's best for you. But I do want to share what I've done because it may help you. So, first things first is moringa. Moringa is a plant that's native to India. It contains proteins, vitamins, and minerals that has so many benefits for our bodies. It is a plant, so it is naturally occurring. It is a food. You can put as much or as little as you want into your smoothies or teas or whatever. Me personally, I put it in smoothies. I do the moringa leaf powder because I like putting it in smoothies. It is, like I said, it's a leaf. It's a plant, so just scooping it in water, I don't think that would be good. I have scooped it in juice before, but it's not like, it ain't all that good. So that's why I put it in like fruit smoothies. But so many benefits. I'm just gonna name off a few. I take it because of the anti-inflammatory properties. Me personally, if I wake up in the morning and I feel a little tight and achy in my joints, I'll get up and make my smoothie, put a little scoop of this, and within an hour or so, I'm ready to go. I'm bouncing back. So it's an anti-inflammatory, stimulates hair growth, enhances skin health, so it's good for my skin rashes, increases energy, improves vision, normalizes blood pressure, antidepressant, improves digestion, eliminates constipation, detox. So when the first time I took this, baby, I was rushing to the bathroom. So just be ready. Like, it's going to detox you that first few times, but then it's more, it's better after the first few times. Mental clarity. So, and I didn't even read off all the benefits, but again, I like the powder. I think it comes in like a tea and other forms. Me personally, I like the powder. But moringa, that's for anybody. Like, you don't have to be having an autoimmune disorder. This is for overall wellness. Moringa, get you some. The next thing is mullen. So like I mentioned before, the type of dermatomyositis that I was diagnosed with does have the interstitial lung disease component. Even though I don't claim that, I still take mullen because one thing about interstitial lung disease is it could be progressing and I not know it till it's too late. It's not like the joint pain and swelling or the rash that you get that you can see and oh my God, I'm having a flare-up. The interstitial lung disease could just be slowly over time progressing and I just wouldn't know it till I can't breathe. And so mullen is a herb that's good for pain, cough, congestion, and lung health. It literally helps recondition the lungs. So people who have asthma, COPD, long-term smokers, mullen is good for people like that who have damaged their lungs over time. And so I take one every day because I know I'm coming off steroids, so I only in the last maybe 2 months been taking mullen, but I take one every day. Even though I don't have no signs and symptoms of anything, I just take it just in case because I know this herb can just recondition the lungs. So if I am having anything going on deep down in there that I can't see, I'm hoping that the mullen is doing its job. But when you first start taking mullen, you're going to be coughing up mucus and stuff because that's what it's doing is it's literally like detoxing your lungs. So that's good for people with dermatomyositis with the interstitial lung disease component, but also if you just have asthma and you like, dang, I've been coughing, I've been whatever, mullen is good for that. The next thing is Sarsaparilla. And I'm only showing this because I personally only take this brand of herbs, New Body Herbs. The reason why is because I like this brand because it's just the herb in a powder form in a capsule. So like if I undid this capsule, the powder will fall out and that's it. Some of these herbs that I'm mentioning, you can get them off Amazon and, different little places like that. I don't like doing that because those will have the herb, but a whole bunch of additives to preserve it and all that. I don't need that. I just need the herb, the raw herb. If you look on the ingredients to this, what is contained in each capsule, Sarsaparilla, and that's it. It ain't nothing else in it. It ain't no benzoyl oxide. I don't need none of that. I just need the herb. So that's why I like this brand because it's just the raw herb and that's it. But anyway, Sarsaparilla is a herb that's used for chronic diseases like rheumatism. So if you have rheumatoid arthritis, dermatomyositis falls under that, or skin problems like eczema, psoriasis. Sarsaparilla is really good for that. So it's an anti-inflammatory and it's a cleansing herb, but it's pretty powerful. I don't take this every day. If I start to feel like I'm getting a flare up of the rash, I'll take this for like 2 or 3 days and then the rash will go away. I really now only have the rash flare up like around my cuticles. Like my cuticles will start to get reddened. And then sometimes on my knuckles, because I do have some scarring on my hands from when the rash was really bad all over my hands. So I'll start to see it start to get red, or like my cuticles will get a little inflamed, and I'll take this for a few days and then it goes away. If I were to take this every day, it starts to dry my skin out because it's such a cleansing herb. It's kind of too powerful for every day for me. But definitely it's just as needed with the skin rashes and flare-ups. But if you have rheumatism of any type, like I said, rheumatoid arthritis, joint stuff, this helps. The next thing is devil's claw. So this is a natural cleansing agent for removing toxic impurities in the system. It relieves pain and it lowers inflammation. So I take devil's claw as my pain medicine. So if I do wake up or I do have a day where it's like, oh, my wrist hurt, my knees hurt, whatever, I take devil's claw. I take that instead of Tylenol, Motrin. Because as we know, taking a whole lot of Tylenol impacts your liver. Taking a whole lot of Motrin or ibuprofen impacts your kidneys. You know, and I don't have time for that. And so when I was like really, really sick, I just never took pain meds because I was like, if I'm just taking 800 milligrams of ibuprofen just to get relief every day over time, that's going to cause another problem. And so I just would just suffer until I found devil's claw. So now if I do feel a little bit of pain, I just take a couple devil's claw and I'm good. Because this lowers the inflammation. The reason why you having pain is because of inflammation. So you need to treat that, not just the pain. Or guess what? In 8 hours when your ibuprofen is up, you're going to be right back in pain. What I like about the devil's claws, I'll take a couple of these and I'm good. It's not like I have to take these every day. A devil's claw now, I probably take one maybe once a week now, if even that. So, devil's claw. The other thing I was going to mention is oil of oregano. So oregano oils have antioxidants, antifungals, and anti-inflammatory properties, but it also plays a role in infection treatment. So it's a natural antibiotic. That's the best way for me to describe it. I live and die by oil of oregano. I've been taking oil of oregano every single day since before I went back to nursing school. One day I was in Whole Foods and I never really get sick in general, but I had some, I don't know if I had a little cough or what, but the man randomly at the register told me, he said, you know, if you take oil of oregano every day, you'll never get sick. And I don't know why I believe that man, but I believe that man. So I went that day and got some tabs and I've been taking them every day since. And as far as I know, I never had COVID. I've never had the flu. I ain't had none of this summer cold, all this stuff that's going around. And I work in healthcare. I work around sick people. I'm around this all the time. And so when I was starting nursing school, I was like, I can't afford to be getting sick. I know I'm gonna be in spaces around sick people. And so I take a tab every single day and I never get sick. But the reason why I'm mentioning it here is, you know, somebody who has dermatomyositis or lupus, whatever, and you want all these immunosuppressants, you're more prone to getting sick in general. And so oil of oregano will help you hopefully mitigate that. Again, all these things I'm mentioning, trial and error. You have to see what works for your body. But for me, like even when being on steroids for a year and all this different stuff, I've never gotten sick. And I've been around people who've been coughing and having COVID and having da-da-da, and I still have never gotten sick. And so I live and die by the oil of oregano. So last thing I was gonna mention is just this aloe vera skin gel. If you are somebody who has dermatomyositis, this could be helpful to put on topically. The rash with dermatomyositis is painful. It hurts, like it stings. It's not just like a rash. It hurts. And so if I do ever have inflammation, like I mentioned around my cuticles or whatever, I put this on topically. It is raw aloe vera. That's all it is. Straight off the leaf. But you know, this has vitamins A, C, and E and healing herbs. So it's sticky. So I put it on at night. I wouldn't put this on before a hot date or none of that. But I put this on at night and then just sleep with it on my skin for a few days, and it helps topically. When I had that dark rash across my forehead, I would slather this all over my face and it helped. And so this is just good for any type of rash, but definitely this is what I've done for dermatomyositis. So again, let me just keep saying, I'm not telling you stop all what your doctor telling you and do this. you gotta try things, but this is just a good place to start. If you're one of those people that's like, yeah, I do want to take, or I do want to do other natural things, but you don't know where to start, these are some good things. And not even just if you have dermatomyositis, like I said, it's a lot of people dealing with chronic pain. It's a lot of people dealing with chronic inflammation, and they think that's normal. It's not. Taking 800 milligrams of ibuprofen every day is not normal just to get through the day, just to get through your work week. No, like it's other ways that you could be mitigating this that's natural and good for your overall health. Moving forward, my plan is to wean off steroids completely. You know, my doctor wants me to wean off steroids, but be on Celsip. I'm not doing that. I'm weaning off steroids completely, and then just going to mitigate the disease with diet and herbs. Right now, all of my labs are in remission. Like my CK, which is creatinine kinase, which tells you if you're having active muscle breakdown and damage, is 26. The norm is 24 to 140. My number is 26. When I first got sick, my number was 260. And there's people that got dermatomyositis with numbers in the thousands. So it could be way, you know, my stuff could have been way worse. But my point is now I'm sitting in the 20s, like I'm good. My inflammatory markers are not elevated. My kidney and liver numbers are 100% normal. Like blood sugar, all that's normal. Blood pressure, good. Like everything is good. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. Because right now I'm in a good spot. But yes, I do have to keep weaning off the steroids slowly. You can't just stop steroids cold turkey. You have to do it slowly. You will shock your system if you just wake up one day and say, I ain't doing steroids no more. But in addition to that, I probably will do a couple more of those IVIG infusions. Everybody can't get approved for that. It's very expensive. One day they sent a bill of what my insurance covered, and each infusion is $13,000. And I get 2 back to back. So like I'll get one on Monday and then Tuesday. So it's $13,000 each. So in 1 week, my insurance is paying $26,000 for this. But it works. I will say, you know, the biggest side effect that I've experienced since doing IVIG, I've only done it twice, is increased blood pressure. Like I said, I never had no blood pressure issues. After my second infusion, I noticed that my blood pressure was going up while I was getting the infusion, which makes sense because I'm getting volume. But then for weeks after that, my blood pressure was still high. I was getting blood pressure headaches, having to check my blood pressure at work. It was a mess. And so I think what I'm going to do now is, instead of getting them every 4 weeks, I'm going to just space it out more, like every 6 to 8 weeks, because it's just, my body's kind of too sensitive to the volume. And I don't have time to have blood pressure issues. But it does help. It really does. All it does, IVIG immunoglobulins, attached to the bad immunoglobulins in your system that are attacking your immune system, and hopefully stops them from attacking your own system. So it's a proven and a beneficial treatment, but it does not last forever. It's a temporary thing. But I think it'll help me as I continue to come off the steroids. And then I do plan to write an an anti-inflammatory cookbook. Not with a whole lot of recipes, just with a few things for people who may be suffering from the same or kind of don't know where to start. I think it'll be a good thing to help someone else, because especially when I was really sick, I just didn't know what to eat, what to do, what to eliminate, where, you know, I just didn't know. And I think I definitely did some things wrong. And you learn from mistakes, you know, but I definitely did some things wrong for sure. And I've learned since then, but I think the cookbook will help other people just kind of have a baseline, knowing kind of where to start, what recipes are good, you know, and still tasting. You don't feel like you just eating like a rabbit. So the other thing I want to mention is I am in physical therapy. Throughout all this, I did get some femoral nerve compression and inflammation. I had inflammation around my femoral nerve, and it made my whole right leg go numb. Like I would just be poking on my leg. I couldn't feel nothing. I could walk and everything. It just was numb. And so, you know, I told my doctor, yeah, I'm having leg numbness. I don't know what's going on. She was like, well, let me call in all these medicines. I'm like, I said, do you think physical therapy might help? And she was like, actually, yeah, let's try that. And so it's been very helpful. Excuse me, I go a few times a month, and I do like traction and different things just to relieve the compression. Some of that could have been from the times that I wasn't able to walk and, you know, move around like I normally would. You know, bad posture, all that just compressed that nerve over time, plus inflammation around the nerve, you know. So it's definitely been a process trying to get back to the feeling, but I can feel my leg now. Now it's just in my knee, but still, my point is I'm still going to that every, you know, a couple times a month, 2-3 times a month, and to the chiropractor. So all in all, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You know, I would love to be on here 1 year later saying I ain't on nothing, everything back to normal. No, it's just simply not. But I'm very blessed. I'm not gonna complain one bit, because, you know, this could have been a very different type of update. You know, I could not be here to make the update, you know, type of thing, to be honest. And so I'm thankful for all the lessons that I've learned just about diet and naturopathic remedies and different things to combat some of this, because to be honest, your doctor's not going to ask you, what are you eating, when you come in there and say, I'm feeling pain, I'm feeling swelling, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And so, you know, I'm believing God for total healing, that I will be able to come off the steroids and not have any flare-ups and not have any problems or have to go back on medications. But until that time, I'm just every day, you know, it's an everyday thing, you know, just listening to my body and keeping pushing forward. But I just want to, you know, my hope is that, you know, somebody that's watching this who may have dermatomyositis, you may have lupus, you may have rheumatoid arthritis, you might just have pain. Hopefully you watch this and know it is hope on the other side of these diagnoses, because sometimes your doctor tell you this and you just thinking, oh Lord, how am I going to live my everyday life? How am I going to be on all these medications? You looking in your cupboard at 20 different medications you got to take every day just to get through the day. It's other ways to do it. And so my hope is that, you know, me kind of talking about my journey and being open can just help you see that there is other ways. But it takes sacrifice. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I just want nachos. Sometimes I just want a slice of pizza. And sometimes, I ain't gonna lie, I don't limit myself. Now I'm feeling better. Sometimes I will just eat that pizza and then I regret it. But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. But I say all that to say that, you know, again, I just have to say it's a marathon. It's going to be a process. But 1 year later, I'm very blessed, very thankful that I'm doing a lot better. And, you know, if you are watching this and it's herbs you take that I didn't mention, put it in the comments below. If there's something you've done or tried, you know, especially people dealing with dermatomyositis specifically, is so rare, you know, it helps for us to learn from each other. So comment below your thoughts, questions. If you have any questions about anything that I mentioned in this video, comment below. I definitely will respond. But in the meantime, in between time, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Until next time, see ya.